Good day. As you can see, it says genetics notes. This is our newest topic. It builds on what we've just done with DNA and protein synthesis, and it's probably a tougher section. So these notes I'll do in 4 videos, so 1 page will be in each video. So we start by looking at Mendels Pea plants. So 19th century, 1800s, we had Gregor Mendel, an Austrian monk, and he tended to a garden at the monastery, and it was filled with plants and happened to have pea plants, and he happened to be very interested in them. So this page, we're really talking about what he did, what he found, and at the bottom of the page, we'll look at how pea plants reproduce. So it's very fortunate he studied peas because peas differed in very specific ways. So pea plants were either short or they're tall. They had yellow seeds or green seeds, round or wrinkled, and there are other traits like that where it's very clear the difference. If you said for humans differing in height, you don't get people who are just really tall or really short. You get a continuum. The way they reproduce turned out to be very important. So the flower of a pea plant contains male parts, which have a stamen. They produce the pollen, which contains the sperm. In the center, they have the female part called the pistil, and at the base, there are egg cells. So for fertilization, sperm have to make it all the way to the female part with the egg. Now, normally, the flowers are closed up, and these pea plants carry out self-pollination, and from that, he could get purebred pea plants. If he wanted to ensure that there was cross-pollination, then what he would do is remove the male part, remove the stamens from a pea plant. So the only way it could be fertilized was via cross-pollination. So we'll take a brief look here. So in the middle, this is the female part. So we see this is what it's saying is the pistil. You have the stigma, and it's sticky. So that's where pollen will arrive, stick. And it contains a sperm that has to make its way down the ovary, which contains the eggs. On the other hand, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stamens illustrated. And so we have something called a filament, and then you have the anther, which has the pollen grains. And we're not too worried about all the rest of it. Here are the flowers that normally are closed off around it. And that's why it carries out self-pollination. So that's the introduction to pea plants. They vary in distinctive ways, and the way they reproduce, the male and the female part, where you can have self-pollination and cross-pollination.